Hello, everybody. I'm Peppers. I have nothing written down. But I will say my first memory of Teal, I was about 15, and he found out that I had no other siblings. And so he pinned me down, and he was like, I'm your older brother now. Try to get out. And he just would pin me down, and he did that for years, dude. He just pinned me down, and he was like, try to get out. And I did, and he was always so impressed, dude. I got the fuck out of there. God, so many memories starting from that point. After that, we skipped our prom to go to a Dave Matthews, John Mayer concert. I wasn't into it. He was into it. I didn't really care about prom, so we skipped prom to go to a concert. And when he had some really lonely nights in Boston, I lived in Boston at the time, and there was this one nurse who didn't care if I snuck in, and I would just lay with him so that he wouldn't have to be alone. And we spent a lot of nights like that in Boston, and oh my God, what am I doing up here?
Doing great.
And then he was like, New Hampshire sucks, and I was like, come to California! So we came out, and we grew our own food, and we raised goats, and we drank the spring water, and we did so many epic hikes. Like, except for I had a baby on my back for the second part of it, and he was like, holy shit, you have a baby on your back. Like, people don't do this back home. Like, and I remember specifically one day I was like, you should probably hike the tallest peak in the Trinity Alps. And he was like, I'll do it tomorrow. And I was like, well, you kind of work for me, and now I have to cover for you, but okay. All right. And I dropped him off, and he hiked Mount Thompson, which he later got tattooed on his forearm. And he spilled all his oatmeal halfway through the trip, and he had no food for the last 2 days hiking down from Mount Thompson. And he was so mad at me that I didn't have pizza in the car when I picked him up. And I always had pizza for him when I picked him up from his backpacking. I would drop him off, and I'd be like, see you in 3 days. And I'd pick him up, and I'd drop him off and pick him up and keep daring him to do all this stupid shit. I'm sorry, I'm swearing. But he did it. He always did it. Like, he never didn't. He always did all the dares that I gave him. That was like probably not smart of him. I feel so grateful that he came out to visit me just 2 months ago with Sarah. And we went to the beach, we went to the redwoods, and in 24 years, I never went more than a month without talking to him. He was my lifeline to New Hampshire. I didn't have to talk to anybody because I knew all of your stories. He told me everything about everybody, and I didn't need to know. I didn't even need to check in with anybody because I knew all your stories. And he was just my lifeline to New Hampshire, and I know that everybody says he was my best friend, but he was my best friend. And this is really hard. No notes.